As the Nordic winter night fully envelopes the valleys of Bergen, piercing cold winds let out low moans among the frozen boulders. On an afternoon in late November 1970, a traveler wandering through Isdal Valley stumbled upon an unsettling secret amid the desolate rock piles. There lay a woman who had long since passed away. Her clothes were reduced to ashes by fire, and personal belongings with all labels deliberately removed were scattered around her. Tonight, beside the gently flickering flames, let us follow this tale and learn about her life. During the turbulent and repressive years of the Cold War, people came to know her simply as the Isdal woman of Norway, a stranger with no real name. Her story holds no bitter accusations, only a long journey of wandering, elaborate disguises, and a heavy fate borne alone in a cold world. Police combed through hotel records across Europe and made a startling discovery: she had traveled through the shadows of major cities using 9 different false identities. Were those cut-off clothing labels and mysterious diary entries written in code meant to evade pursuers, or to bid a final farewell to the world? On this quiet night, let these yellowed archives turn into soft evening breezes, guiding us into a Nordic midnight of railway stations, Cold War ciphers and boundless wilderness. Clues to the case were locked inside locker number 2 at Bergen railway station, the last place she stayed in this world. When police turned the brass lock with a heavy key, a faint blend of luxury perfume and aged leather drifted slowly through the damp air. 2 exquisite brown leather suitcases sat neatly inside, every garment folded with meticulous care, a testament to her fine breeding. Yet when investigators lifted an elegant black wool trench coat, they found all brand tags on the collar and lining had been cleanly sliced off with a sharp blade. This was done to every piece of her attire: silk scarves, blouses, even trademarks on the soles of her shoes were erased without a trace, as if she was desperate to wipe out all traces of her origins. At the bottom of the locker lay banknotes from various countries, several pairs of sunglasses to hide her face, and half-used tubes of French lipstick. Most eerie of all was a delicate small leather notebook, its pages filled with neat handwriting forming cryptic combinations of letters and numbers. These strange symbols belonged to no known language. They read like minute-by-minute schedules, marking an unknown covert route. Winter rain tapped silently against the windows of the investigation office. The only sound inside was the rustle of turning pages, each one heavy enough to stir a sigh. What was this poised, well-dressed woman trying so hard to hide? Why did she tread so cautiously, as if walking on thin ice with every step she took? To uncover the true identity of the Isdal woman, investigators traced her final journey backward through faded hotel registration forms. Staff at Hotel Hordeheimen in Bergen remembered her clearly. Her beauty and aloof demeanor set her apart from the ordinary crowd. Going by the alias Vera Jaro, she claimed to be an antique dealer from Belgium. She had sleek black hair and deep eyes that seemed to see through everything. Always wearing her tagless dark blue trench coat, she would sit alone in the quietest corner of the hotel, sipping black tea slowly while frequently gazing out at the streets beyond. Waiters recalled that her manners were impeccable. She spoke with a soft French accent and rarely initiated conversations, radiating an aura of lonely detachment. Yet small details betrayed her inner anxiety. She asked to change rooms repeatedly until she moved into a top-floor suite with a full view of the harbor. Hotel cleaners found her peculiar too. Whenever someone knocked at the door, she would first tidy away documents on the table before opening the door a crack. She seemed to be waiting for someone, yet also wary of every stranger who drew near. In Europe shrouded by Cold War tensions, such vigilance spoke volumes. Late into the night, only the howl of sea whined through cracks echoed along the hotel corridors. The dim table lamp in her room often stayed lit until dawn. No one knew what thoughts kept her awake. Was she reminiscing about the warm hearth in her distant hometown, or calculating how much further she could go in this game of fate? As the investigation deepened, intelligence agencies managed to decipher part of the cryptic codes, lifting a corner of the icy iron curtain of the Cold War era. Those seemingly random numbers turned out to be precise records of timetables and coordinates for Norway's secret missile tests along its western coast. In that extraordinary autumn of 1970, Norway's Penguin anti-ship missiles were undergoing final top-secret trials, and her tracks overlapped perfectly with every launch. Furthermore, several local fishermen later testified that they had spotted the mysterious woman in her trench coat holding high-powered binoculars near military zone reefs. Waves crashed violently against the dark rocks, sending sprays of white foam flying. She stood motionless on the edge of the storm, letting frigid seawater soak the hem of her coat. Her identity became clear: a senior spy operating between the Eastern and Western blocks, an anonymous pawn caught up in the tides of history, disposable at any moment. In that era of power struggles and universal unease, spies were like flowers blooming on ice, stunning to behold, yet never meant to thrive in the light of day. Her extensive intelligence network provided her with 9 flawless fake identities, but it could never grant her the simple sense of security enjoyed by ordinary people in her hour of greatest need. Every letter she wrote was delivered through covert channels with no fixed recipient, eventually vanishing amid the tangled postal routes across continental Europe. Winds swept quietly through Norway's military intelligence headquarters in Oslo. Thick red seals were stamped onto classified files, ruthlessly sealing off every chance she had left to survive. Her final act unfolded on a moonless, desperate winter night in Isdal Valley, a name which translates locally to the Valley of Death. This desolate place was shunned by locals, perpetually veiled in mist and lined with jagged rocks. Since the Middle Ages, it had been where countless despairing souls chose to end their lives. For reasons unknown, the Isdal woman set foot on this frigid mountain path leading to her end on a night when even wild beasts dared not roam. She walked slowly, her boots thudding against frozen soil and dry branches. Apart from her heavy breathing, only the distant roar of a waterfall lingered in the air. Pausing beside a sheltered rocky cave halfway up the slope, she lit a small campfire. Its flames cast a warm glow over her delicate face, pale from the bitter cold. She showed no sign of panic. Instead, she took a large dose of strong sleeping pills peacefully, then lay down on the cold rocks, waiting for slumber to overtake her. As flames finally consumed her belongings and her black trench coat, she simply closed her eyes, letting thick smoke and the icy night sky merge with her completely. When she was discovered the next morning, her body lay in an oddly graceful pose amid charred ashes, as if she had merely fallen into a deep sleep during a journey abroad. She took all her secrets with her. After months of deliberation, Norwegian police and military tribunals ruled her death a suicide and closed the case hastily. Yet this conclusion convinced no one. The elaborate manner of self-destruction was more like a carefully staged ritual, a cold tribute to the cruelty of the Cold War age. In the spring of 1971, the parish of Bergen held a bleak funeral for the unknown woman. Not a single relative attended, and even the priest did not know which name to recite in prayer. She was laid to rest in a specially made zinc coffin, a material said to preserve the body for a long time. Perhaps locals clung to a faint hope that her family would one day come to take her home. The Isdal woman, this enigma who vanished amid ice and snow, rests quietly beneath a low Nordic tombstone. Wild flowers bloom and fade beside her year after year. As the smoke of the Cold War gradually cleared, old classified files were declassified one by one. Still, her real name and origins remain an unfathomable mystery. Who was her family? Who was the one she loved? Whom did she weep for late at night in that turbulent time? None of these questions matter anymore. What she left to the world is an elegant legend of lonely wandering, along with the composure and dignity she upheld until the very end in the frozen wilderness. Now the cold mist over Isdal Valley has lifted, and the bustle of Bergen railway station has long faded into history. The sorrowful tale of this nameless woman and her long journey wandering under 9 aliases has become tonight's soothing lullaby. The night is deep. Pull your covers tight. Let the secrets of codes, trench coats and foreign travels drift into the distant night sky along with the faint scent of perfume. There is no need to seek the truth or grieve over the ending. Good night. May the quiet, pure starlight of Northern Europe bring you a peaceful and sound sleep.